protocol is that all of our investigations are reviewed by the district attorney, and he decides if there's going to be charges filed. Simultaneously, or in a lot of cases, if the victim does not want to go with a criminal prosecution, we would turn over whatever evidence we have in our investigation to the Student Code of Conduct folks, the conduct office. And then if the victim decides to file a complaint to the conduct office, then they would have what we have, and they can and then it's up to the conduct process to determine what happens to the perpetrator. But our process is, once we get a complaint and somebody files it criminally, we're going to investigate it, and we're going to let the district attorney decide if there's enough evidence to prosecute. If a person's arrested, it's public record, and we would release that. Where the difficulty comes in is through the conduct process. Once a conduct process begins, then there are certain protections that, again, are required by federal regulations in terms of identity and even the results of the conduct process. And I'm not the expert on that. I don't want to, speak out of turn. I think that would be more of a question for Judy Haas or J.J. Brown, the dean. But basically, once it goes to conduct, there are lots of restrictions on what information can be shared. Again, if there's an arrest made, that's public record, and we can share that with anybody.
All conduct matters are protected under the Family Educational Right to Privacy Act, and that we cannot just put information out there and reveal. Now, depending on the type of allegation, some information can be shared with the complainant. I think there's been some controversy or questions. Some people are like, wow, why don't you automatically suspend or expel for things? And I hear that, and certainly we have a range. We start, for some things, not all things, start with a minimal outcome. Inappropriately touching starts with a minimal outcome of going on disciplinary probation, and it can be for an extended period of time to suspension to expulsion. And I think some questions have come up as to, is that not serious enough? We need a range to be able to understand okay, I want to honor you where you are and what you're feeling and how you want to address this. But this one, we have to go in a different direction.
OASIS has been in the community since 1978, and we were founded by community members, including ASU partners. So there have been folks involved with with OASIS from the university since 1978. So we have provided direct victims advocacy and 24-hour crisis intervention. OASIS has been working hand in hand with ASU to look at ways to reduce re-victimization for survivors who come forward and work actively to prevent the crimes of rape and sexual assault. We're all in a community, and these crimes impact all of us. And these crimes are crimes of choice. The perpetrator chooses to commit this crime. If we can work on the prevention of it, and we just not choose that can reduce a lot of the other subsequent issues that we see in our society.
Somebody who's been raped has been violated, their boundaries have been violated in the most profound way, and so we don't want to push somebody to do something they don't want to do. We feel like that we should give them choices and maybe even give them some advice, but we don't feel like we should push somebody to do something they don't want to do, because that's already happened to them in a rather horrific way. So we honor their boundaries and their wishes, but we do encourage them to report to police. We encourage them to go to OASIS, and we encourage them to find out what their choices are and what their options are, and we inform them as much as we're able to on what their choices and options are. I think somebody like OASIS is better able to advise them on how to deal with the district attorney or how to get a restraining order or something like that. We're not as informed about that as OASIS is, but as far as emotional support and counseling and helping people minimize their post-traumatic stress after an event like that, we're a good place to go, and we're good at doing that.